A long time ago, in a world filled with animal people called kimono, something amazing happened. The kimono loved animals, but the humans were like myths to them. They were strange, hairless creatures only found in old stories. One day, the kimono on a seaside boardwalk saw something unbelievable in the sky. "What is that?" they whispered to each other. It turned out to be a strange object falling from the sky, something they'd never seen before. This object landed in the river, and out came a human. The kimono were amazed and a bit scared. This human looked so different from them. A cat girl named Tonariko, the spokesperson for the Beast Folk Federal Nation, explained that the council wanted to treat Hitoshi with care. Even though he was strange and bald, except for the hair on his head, Hitoshi seemed smart. The kimono scientists started studying Hitoshi like he was a new kind of animal. They examined his skeleton and found it very straight, unlike the kimono, whose posture showed their strength. Dr. Drill, the head scientist, has named Hitoshi Bipedus erectus. He was especially curious. Hitoshi even picked up Tonariko. She wasn't too happy about it. Hitoshi's hands fascinated the kimono Mimi. They had so many joints and long fingers. When given a pen, Hitoshi surprised everyone by writing, "My name is Hitoshi Kanashima. I am an astronaut from a planet called Earth." Tonariko found his writing fascinating, even playing with his drawings, then continuing with the physical examination. Hitoshi's skin was another source of wonder. It was smooth and hairless, and warmer than the kimono Mimi. Tonariko, exhausted from her duties, ended up falling asleep nestled against the warm human. Dr. Drill theorized this warmth helped humans keep their big brains cool. As kimono Mimi evolved, they developed ways to stay cool. They grew less hair and moved higher off the ground, but their form remained constant. This wasn't so for humans, and they had to evolve more internally for survival. Dr. Drill believes because of these adaptive developments, humans managed to cultivate high brain capacity as their strength and developed a need for heat dissipation, a theory Tonariko found most enlightening. Some officers and researchers told Tonariko they enjoyed getting a massage from the human. Tonariko replied that this wasn't professional and shouldn't be included in their reports. Later, Tonariko herself, Dr. Drill, and other researchers ended up enjoying massages from Hitoshi. Days later, they had Hitoshi's whole body mapped out on a chart, and Tonariko delivered her first report at the first Human Special Audit Interim Report meeting. She described his 5 senses, lack of physical strength, and generally harmless nature. News of Hitoshi spread. Some kimono Mimi were skeptical, some curious, while others confessed to enjoying being near the human. Some were disappointed Hitoshi wasn't more exciting. The secretary, Leon, complimented Tonariko on her report. However, the secretary wondered about humans being purposely weak. Tonariko defended Hitoshi's worth, emphasizing his intelligence. While Leon said that the project may be useless, Tonariko said that studying him produced some groundbreaking and fruitful research results that far excelled the research her institution did previously. It came out it was discovered that humans were much further evolved intellectually. Still, Leon urged her people to push Tonariko harder in her task, since the general populace was starting to express apprehension to an alien they did not yet trust or know anything about. Tonariko started feeling very stressed with all this pressure put upon her. Days passed by with research getting harder. Hitoshi learned to write the kimono Mimi language in just a week, introducing himself to Tonariko and revealing he was an astronaut from Earth. Hitoshi's language skills improved quickly. He used Tonariko's name and eagerly absorbed any learning materials provided, demonstrating advanced intelligence. The research team worked overtime to keep up. Tonariko reassured a worried Secretary Lon that the research on Hitoshi was progressing well, despite public anxieties about his potential danger and the report being behind schedule. Lon cautioned against further delays, emphasizing the growing fear and suspicion surrounding Hitoshi. The pressure mounted as Dr. Drill, exhausted from his intense study of Hitoshi's space diary, collapsed and was sent to the hospital. This left Tonariko alone to manage the increasingly stressful research project. Meanwhile, Hitoshi continued to learn their language, writing a thoughtful get-well letter to Dr. Drill, a gesture that touched Tonariko and revealed his kind nature. However, even as she witnessed his kindness and growing communication skills, Tonariko privately admitted a growing fear of Hitoshi's advanced intellect and the vast difference in their cultures. She recognized her apprehension, acknowledging a real fear of the unknown. The research project on Hitoshi was suddenly shut down, and the council ordered his execution. They claimed Hitoshi carried dangerous pathogens, possibly the cause of Dr. Drill's collapse. Tanariko was shocked and questioned this decision, arguing that they hadn't proven anything. Leon and other officials expressed fear and suspicion of the advanced human species. At home, Tanariko was inconsolable, lying on the floor in distress over the council's decision. Her friends' attempts to comfort her only irritated Tanariko, who wanted to be left alone with her despair. She dramatically declared she was going to kill herself, which her friend recognized as an exaggeration born out of her deep concern for Hitoshi. Just then, a letter arrived from Hitoshi, delivered to her office. He acknowledged how humans might seem foreign or maybe even somewhat scary-looking to others, and wasn't sure what the reaction may be initially because of it. He added that whatever may be his end within this unfamiliar world, no matter what came after meeting her and other kimono mimi, had left within him a feeling of happiness he hadn't felt in a long while during his whole venture on this space voyage, from which at one point, he believed he might never find his finality and make the contact he was searching for, making this experience particularly impactful regardless of anything else in its aftermath. This letter deeply touched Tanariko. Hitoshi admitted humans might appear strange or frightening, unsure how others would react. He added that regardless of his fate, meeting Tanariko and the Kemono Mimi brought him immense joy, a feeling he hadn't experienced during his long and lonely space journey. This deeply moved Tanariko. Tanariko, grabbing Hitoshi's letter, raced from her house. "I'm going," she called back to her friend, leaving her startled. She burst into the final council meeting about Hitoshi, determined to change their minds. Standing before the assembled Kemono Mimi, she announced her intention to share her personal view of Hitoshi and make a heartfelt plea. Meanwhile, Hitoshi sat alone in a cell on death row, unaware of Tanariko's efforts. Tanariko told the council that Hitoshi no longer had a home to return to, having risked everything to find other life forms. She shared how moved she was by his journey. Back in the council chambers, Tanariko explained how Hitoshi immediately tried to connect with them, despite their initial mistrust and mistreatment. He considered them friends even before meeting them face to face. She argued that his appearance and differences shouldn't matter, that true friendship lies deeper than prejudice. She confronted their fear, calling his kind by their actual name, friends, asking them not to resort to murder out of not knowing, as if this ignorance is a better choice for everyone than attempting connection through proper discourse, just as humans would with her own folk. Tanariko declared that their society was better than to act out of baseless fear, and she personally knew they all knew there had been no basis whatsoever for claiming evil intentions from another. She argued their fear dishonors the Kemono Mimi way of living, arguing that Hitoshi's presence showed them at what level humans have ascended, not that her society could act no better than any beast. This caused some audience disruption, with calls for Tanariko being wrong, love-struck, or even a traitor. But, undeterred, the Catgirl continued her fiery defense, culminating in boldly expressing a deep, heartfelt sentiment, with a shout. "Yes, I do love him." Stunned silence descended on the chamber. The council, shamed by Tanariko's words, could offer no argument in defense, and ordered Hitoshi's release. Hitoshi emerged, looking tired but not broken. Dr. Drill, now recovered, apologized for the ordeal and welcomed him. In a formal ceremony, Hitoshi was declared an Earth diplomat to their world. He was granted the right to live among them indefinitely, with equal rights to the Kemono Mimi. Both species would coexist peacefully. Hitoshi expressed his gratitude, now able to speak their language much more fluently. Tanariko welcomed him as her co-worker, her fondness apparent, showing a glimpse into her previous declaration that shocked so many during that tense standoff.